Darren, thanks for joining our program. Can you just tell us real quick about your town hall and what some of the insights that you gathered from it were?
Yeah, Torrey, thank you very much for having me on today. And just for covering this issue. And the town hall, is something that we had to put together. I know I'm running for public office, but I'm also a concerned citizen and I'm a father of 2 children who attend BCPS. And also I'm a member of the Baltimore County Parent and Student Coalition. And I recommend any parent who wants to find a group of parents to get a better understanding of what's going on in our schools and just have support, join that group. It's on Facebook. But, many parents from Franklin High School, they had the stabbing, Chesapeake High School where they found the gun. Another student had to be airlifted. It's a shame that, when you hear little stories on the news and the publications, they don't tell the full story. And what I found after holding this town hall is that things are 10 times worse than what we think they are. One parent told me that that his bullying is happening to their son continuously. They tried to set their son on fire in a bathroom. We have repeat offenders that continually push the boundary. Now, we're not just talking about bullying, intimidation, and violence. We're starting to hear about sexual assaults, and they're starting to be pushed under the rug. And we have students crying out for help. We had 200 students walk out of Patapsco High School, and we had 400 children walking out of Dundalk High School because they feel their voices are not being heard.
Wow. And I mean, it is just shocking. Now, you are right? There is definitely a very different image, and it doesn't seem to be a concerted effort to acknowledge or address that from any officials. Did you have any public school officials, or did you get any response from people that are aware and overseeing some of our public schools at your town hall?
No, I did have Senator John Sailing, Delegate Rick Metzger. We had Kim Klasick at the event, and Pat McDonough, and Mary, the Vice President of the Baltimore County Parent Student Coalition. I did reach out to leadership in all areas, but nobody reached out to me. And I agree with you said, Torrey, sometimes the leadership, whether it's Johnny Olszewski, the teachers union, superintendent, school board, they paint a different picture. When you watch the news or on their social media platforms, they'll tell you how good schools are going, the ideas they're putting forth. But really, what they should be saying is that, we made mistakes on reopening our schools. We have a violence problem. We're trying to get under control. We were not prepared to open the schools. We were not prepared to pick up your children, and we're reaching out for outside help to help work on an effective plan to get it right. They have to acknowledge it. And like I said before in the last conversation, it's really time for leadership to be humbled and say, we don't know how to fix this problem. We thought we could get it right, but we can't. We need to find outside help. And they need to let the parents know, because one thing about people from Baltimore here in Maryland, we can smell bullcrap a mile away.
Wow. So we're speaking with Darren Badillo, prominent activist specifically in the Baltimore area. He just hosted a town hall on violence in the schools. Now, Darren, what do the parents want to make them feel safer about their students being in these school systems? What did they have to say? What do they feel would make them feel better about sending their kids?
I think it's simple. What the parents want first is accountability. They want the kids that are continuously causing the problem, disrupting the classroom, hurting their children, to be held accountable. I think that's where it starts. And we know now after the town hall that school systems, principals, and teachers are looked frowned upon for writing a student up. They would much rather have their school look good than solve problems. And that's a big issue. Schools are supposed to be helping our children, educating our children, making sure they're safe, not pushing things under the rug. And that's what's being done right now.
So when it comes to the matter of accountability and dealing with some of these issues, what visibility do parents have or the community have specifically in how safe a school is and how those incidents are handled? What did you learn about that process?
So what I learned about that process is there is a form called the bullying intimidation form. If any parent's child is being bullied, attacked, or intimidated, they can fill that form out, hand it to the principal. The principal must investigate and come back with a plan on how to resolve the issue. But on top of that, I think what us parents need to do is we need to stop relying on the school system to address our issues. If somebody assaults your child and punches your child in the face, if your child has to be airlifted to the hospital, call the police. If your child is sexually assaulted, call the police. And also, Pat McDonough has a law firm called Respect the Constitution, and I brought multiple parents to his attention on issues like this, and they have 2 lawsuits that are going to be coming up against the school system. So that's what I recommend parents to do. No longer wait for the school system to handle the issue because they would much rather look good. It's time that we have to get 911 involved, especially on sexual assaults as well.
Wow. Well, is there any like a website or anywhere people can go specifically if they're in any of these areas where they can, be connected with other parents that are experiencing some of these issues?
Yes, please go to the Baltimore County Parent and Student Coalition. You can find that on Facebook. They have a website. You can also reach out to me. I have parents reaching out to me daily about issues that are going on in our school system, and I have contacts with if I get it to the new system or get it to Pat McDonough and his law firm. It's time to hold these schools accountable. I understand there's a shortage in our schools, but like I said, these were self-inflicted wounds from our leadership. They were not prepared. They didn't have short-term and long-term plans, and I think we need to do like New Mexico did, is where they got the National Guard involved to help with the staffing shortages. We need to do that here in Baltimore County. But again, it's going to take the leadership to acknowledge we have the problem and humble themselves and say we need help. I don't think they're ready to do that. And until they are, we won't see any change.
Darren Badillo, I want to thank you for coming. Before you go, can you just remind people quickly where they can learn more about you and the work that you're doing in the community?
Yes. I'm the Director of Operations for the Baltimore Youth Coalition. If you have a child in the Baltimore County area, we're there every Friday night from 7 to 9 p.m., a positive environment. Also, I am running for county executive. I need your support. Please go to my website, darrenbadillo.com. Buy some merchandise, donate, and volunteer. I need your help. I'm going to be fighting for our children in our schools and for our communities. And Torrey, thank you very much for this time today in addressing this issue.
Have a safe afternoon and be safe out there as the weather deteriorates.